Another long weekend for most people, Donald, but not really in the world of real estate.
Yeah, it's keeps moving ahead here. Open houses. We're out there working with both buyers, obviously sellers, and traditionally we're getting kind of into the groove here. But activity has been pretty healthy so far, just from day after New Year's.
In the luxury market above 2.25 million, we're actually seeing parity, are we not, in terms of the number of new to market and in contract listings last week?
Yeah, right on. 13 on both sides. 13 new to market, 13 in contract, and our gross dollar amounts are almost identical, which kind of just shows a balance there of buyers and sellers kind of being in sync there with expectations last week. Not always the case, but last week that seemed to be the case.
But that activity is somewhat dominated by townhouses last week.
Yeah, last week for sure. It was we had 6 new to market and 5 going into contract. On the new to market side, the highest priced townhouse was in Cobble Hill, 52 Tompkins Place, at 6.495, and then a handful at the lower end of the range there in our luxury bracket of between 2.25 and 3.9. And interestingly enough, while townhouses had the higher numbers last week, looking back over the previous 4 weeks, condo sponsor in contract numbers pretty strong. 35 going into contract over the last 4 weeks versus only 15 coming onto the market. So, you know, a net positive absorption there of what's available in the luxury segment, which is something certainly to keep an eye on.
Definitely. And the below 2.25 million market, we're seeing a very nice weekly number of new to market and in contract listings keeping par.
Yep, I think we're in the 60s there as well. And you know, looking at the data a year ago, we're almost in the identical same place where both of those trailing 4-week numbers are aligned. It was interesting last year, and something certainly to see what may transpire here in the coming weeks. In contract activity started to run ahead of new to market for quite some time, almost a month and a half. It wasn't until late April where enough new supply was coming online that it was adding to the inventory instead of being drawn down. So we're at that inflection point right now, and over the coming weeks, we'll see which way this goes.
But it's all about condos and co-ops, these price points, correct?
Yeah, just back to those two numbers: 62 new to market, 61 in contract. On the new to market side, there were 5 townhouses coming to the market, so 5 out of the 62. But on the in contract side, 0 townhouses in this segment of the market that we look at under 2.25, zero townhouses versus all the others: condos, resales, sponsors, and co-op sponsor units.
Great. Okay, next week we will report on the end of February. Whole month of February done and in the books in 1 week's time.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
See you then.